Hello everybody, E3 Day 1 is in the bag, and boy, was it jam-packed. I am Ghost Robo, and today I played and saw a ton of games at the E3 Show 4. I had a bunch of appointments, I had a lot of fun, and I had very little food, water, or rest, but it's okay because I'm excited to share all the juicy details with you guys of all the stuff that I checked out. Joining me in this endeavor is the man, the myth, the legend, doubling the humanity count of this video, the legendary Jake.
Woo!
He is here to provide moral support, color commentary, and chime in on some of the stuff that he
Overall
played.
assistance.
Yeah, there you go. We started off this morning with a game that everybody is super hyped for, Far Cry 4. I played an outpost segment of the game. I rode a very evil elephant into this structure stronghold. I trunk smashed dudes. I flipped over jeeps. I stomped my feet. And I was a bad elephant. I had no idea that the pachyderm could be so freaking vicious.
It can. How did you not know this? You've never seen the reports like elephant tramples 5 million people.
I haven't seen those reports, but I'm sure Far Cry 4 will create those reports. I mean, this felt very much like Far Cry. It wasn't a story mission. It wasn't really delving into the Himalayas, except for the wildlife. We saw elephants and monkeys and
There's snow leopards and eagles and beehives and honey badgers.
Man, you got this down pat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're talking about. So
I never touched a controller.
it felt very much like Far Cry, which is a good thing, I would say. I think Far Cry is a fun game at its core. Like, it's a unique open world game that thrives on the ecosystem of the wildlife and the factions. I hope that they really dive deep into the storyline. As goofy as Far Cry 3 was at times, I enjoyed a lot of those missions. Here, though, it was focused on the combat and the gyrocopter, which is basically this cobbled-together vehicle that feels like something out of your grandpa's backyard on one of his crazy days, because it's like a bike duct taped to some propellers that barely flies. I'm like riding this thing above the outpost, dropping grenades in, fighting a helicopter. I have no business fighting a real helicopter in my, baby's first chopper device, but somehow it worked, and, the wingsuit is back. It wasn't the final build, so it didn't look as pretty as I think it's going to look, but it definitely looked nice. And I'm just excited for next-gen Far Cry. This was just a small taste. It felt very similar because it was combat, but like the snowy scenery has me excited, and I want to see how that game plays out and what they choose to evolve from a campaign standpoint. I did learn that the co-op that was hinted in the trailers is going to be for specific missions. So there is the single-player campaign, and then there's co-op sections that you can call in friends. It's called Guns for Hire, and I think that's kind of a fun way to do things. And Assassin's Creed Unity seems to be following suit as well. That's another Ubisoft game coming out this year. I love that both these titles are this year. And AC Unity, I unfortunately didn't get to play, but I stood right next to somebody live playing the demo, and that was a cool experience. I got to ask him a bunch of questions and learn some juicy stuff for you guys. The one that has me most excited, this game is so impressive to me because it feels like such a step up in terms of scale from the past Assassin's Creed games. The buildings are gigantic. They claim that they're one-to-one with stuff in France. So like Notre Dame is going to be absolutely epic. The crowds have been increased dramatically, and just the whole sense of just size. Like, I feel like the verticality has been dramatically increased. It felt like such a huge world. It's got this nice grit to the visuals. Graphically, it looks really impressive, but it's got this good, this gritty feel that I really liked. But my favorite part that I didn't know before, and this was something I had specifically hoped for. You know how in Assassin's Creed games you run up like boxes and then jump on a post and then vault up to the rooftop? Like, there's very specific places you can begin your climbing. It's called free running, but it's not that free. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
Good, Jake. You know everything today.
I do.
Good to know. In Assassin's Creed Unity, there is no more starter points. You can approach the walls from any angle and begin your ascent wherever you want. Holly freaking Luya. That is what free running is all about. Seeing the dude jump on the wall run up to the rooftops, and then just keep going was fantastic. And they've apparently added an ascension button and a descension button to assist in fast vertical climbing and fast vertical dropping, which I think is pretty cool. A nice tweak to make the climbing feel more dynamic. And because you are dealing with these larger structures, they're going to need it. Now, the co-op it sounds like the campaign is being kept separate once again. They are focusing, the main part of the game is the single-player storyline, but they are doing co-op free roam and co-op missions. There'll be specific missions. Sounds like there's more open world missions within Unity, and some of them will recommend like 3 players, 4 players. You can free roam with your friends, add them to your game, and go and tackle those missions. But it seems like the heart of the game is the single-player storyline, and they're keeping that pure and kind of separate from the co-op, which is something that was kind of confusing. In the trailer, I wasn't so sure which direction they were going to go, but I'm happy that they are still focusing on that single-player Assassin's Creed experience. And it seems like this one, this might be the one that takes Assassin's Creed to the next level. Sort of like how 2 did that for me years ago. I am so hyped for Assassin's Creed Unity. That's got to be one of my favorite games of the show thus far. Moving on.
Wait, did you know? Did you know this? This is a secret that I heard.
What?
That you can take your own picture and then it'll upload it into the game and then you'll be the assassin.
You're not. This is not true.
Darn.
You were hitting all the marks about the elephants and about the free running, and then all of a sudden you just blew it with your.
Shh. Keep going.
That is
Shh,
not.
Keep going.
That's not in the game.
Keep going.
Next up, we played Super Smash Bros. This is just like a deluge of brand new games. So awesome. We played Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. I don't need to explain this one. You know what Super Smash Bros. is.
Yeah, you do. You fight in an arena and okay, whatever. Go.
It's so much fun. I love it. It's beautiful. There's tons of new characters, and they all control like pretty darn unique, like Mega Man, Little Mac, Rosalina, Wii Fit Trainer, Villager from Animal Crossing. They're like a very diverse cast of characters. I kind of almost had a hard time getting a grip on some of them.
Yeah, definitely. Real quick, let's give one quick example. I was Rosalina and Luma, and Rosalina could throw out Luma in an attack, and then Luma would just kind of like float there, and then you could run anywhere you wanted, and like
she's a juggling character, isn't she? Though, like
if you can do it, it's really hard because like you're controlling 2 people who are completely separate, and sometimes Luma like disappears and you get a new one, and I don't know. But the graphics and everything, like they kept everything the same in terms of the style, but just upped it. Like the damage counters have like more of a drop shadow, so they look more like futuristic and pretty, and just the whole game is like the same thing but just bigger or better.
The highlight of the experience for me though was the announcer is so much more into it than ever before. He's like Greninja. Yeah, he's like Mario, and then for Greninja's like Greninja. It's all like mysterious. That was so freaking epic, and Greninja's probably my favorite so far. I played a couple rounds. It's kind of hard because everyone's just like button mashing, so I didn't have time to really learn the characters. I'm gonna go back and play more tomorrow. That's like a given. But Greninja is my early favorite out of the newcomers. Who was your pride and joy today?
I didn't like Rosalina. I did not like Greninja. Little Mac was okay, just sucks at jumping, and then Mega Man was cool. I just couldn't like pull off any of his like cool moves because I kept just getting railed because the stage was so small and it was 4 people in time.
Yeah, we played on some small stages with 4 people. I don't know if it was just the button mashing nature of people on the show floor, but that is going to be the party game of the millennium.
I still don't understand the people who were Fox and Link. Like,
you're
for new characters. What are you doing?
The new guys are so cool, and they announced Pac-Man tonight.
No, just not Pac-Man.
I love Pac-Man.
No.
Pac-Man is beautiful.
He's a circle.
He's beautiful.
Oh.
I love spheres.
No.
Don't hate on my round shapes.
No.
Whatever. You're a hater. You're such a hater. We played with GameCube controllers, which is weird. It felt like I was 10 years.
I loved it.
But I felt like I was 10 years in the past. Like
you did yours.
Oh, this feels so crappy.
No, I was like,
oh, this feels so good. I remember this.
It was like the brand new Wii U game using GameCube controllers.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be like using a nunchuck and
yeah,
Wii
I guess it's a good fan service. I'm not complaining. I just found it like really ironic.
Sweet.
Hopping over to Microsoft, we played Sunset Overdrive, which is the new game from Insomniac.
I recorded. You played.
Okay,
Let's correct that.
You were on camera duty, which is just as important of a job.
I was sweating.
As controller duty.
That's how difficult it was.
You were panting and...
No, not just sweating. I was legit sweating. Okay,
were
go ahead.
Were
yes.
you really?
Yes, I was actually really sweating.
So Sunset Overdrive is the Tony Hawk meets shooter meets Ratchet and Clank game, exclusive to Xbox One. And I gotta say, like, it was really hard to control at first. We played this co-op multiplayer mode, and you're grinding on these rails, you're supposed to be all stylish, and I kept, like, just looking over my shoulder like an owl with a broken neck, like, wait, go back, because it's interesting. You have a grind button, so you have to press X to start your grind, and then you press X again to switch direction, which I thought was just, it's an interesting choice. And I was bouncing back and forth, like, wait, I want to go back and aim here, wait. And like I could be successful from the ground. I could be successful just grinding in a circle. I'm a little bit worried about, games like this where they want you to look so cool. I always feel like I'm doing it wrong. And I'm a little nervous that this game is going to make me feel like I'm doing it wrong a lot. I will say, like, there's very heavy auto aim, and most of the weapons seem to be projectile or explosive focused, so I don't think it's a traditional. You're not supposed to be using assault rifles. They're in the game, but you're not supposed to be using them. You're supposed to be using these more manic weapons, firing explosive teddy bears, propane tanks, fireworks, and kind of just auto aiming your way, grinding around.
Looks like a game that shows better than it actually is.
It looks so dang colorful. I was so hyped for this one, but it left me the most mysterious feeling. Like, I don't know what to expect from this game. Like, I still want to play it and check out the full version, but will it be fun to grind around and drop bombs on guys for 10 hours? Like, I don't know. It's really kind of
ambiguous.
It's kind of odd. And maybe it was because we were playing a co-op mode where there's throwing enemies at you over and over again, but I walked away like, is that going to be good or bad? Like, I can't quite tell. We could tell, though, a lot about Shadows of Mordor. We had an extensive demo. This is the Lord of the Rings game without the Lord of the Rings name. That's kind of Batman, Assassin's Creed inspired, and it has this really cool nemesis system, and that was the focus of our demo, where you're going around and dominating and converting these orcs to your side to then go and battle against war chieftains or betray them, creating all these, like, in-breed warfare, class warfare. It was super combat heavy. I don't know if the full game is going to be this combat heavy, but it honestly felt like it was like 90% combat, which is kind of a...
You may, like, rub off the square logo on your controller.
Yeah, it's got that Batman combat where you're mashing square to fight guys. It pops up. We were playing PlayStation 4, so it pops up the triangle prompt to counter. You can jump over dudes and strike from behind. You can execute finishers. There's area of effect attacks. Like, Warner Brothers clearly learned from Batman, but I thought it controlled really well. Like, climbing structures felt very natural. You're moving around the world at quite a pace. There's a lot of complexity. I was unlocking skills and upgrades and runes that modified my character, and just like there's a lot going on. I'm a bit worried if the entire game is this nemesis system. I couldn't really get a 100% clear answer if there's more to the game than just converting orcs and then fighting bigger, badder orcs, but like the system is pretty cool.
My guy said that there's a whole single-player long game, plus the Nemesis thing, plus like side missions where you can upgrade your sword or free slaves, whatever that does.
Free slaves?
That's what he
said.
said.
What is this, Django Unchained?
No, there's like orcs with driving slaves, and I accidentally killed some of the slaves because they all look the same.
You're evil, man.
I'm an elephant.
You're not an elephant.
Evil.
That's Far Cry 4.
I know, that was the same connection.
Oh. Shadows of Mordor looks pretty cool. Like, again, I'm a bit... It's an open world game that's clearly focused on combat, and it creates some really unique situations where you're like, you attack a guy till he's low on health, and you grab him, and you can either kill him or dominate him or use him to gather intel, turn him against his leaders. So like they're employing new ideas that I give them major props for.
I really don't like open world games. I really like more linear games that can tell a story and have like set things. But the Nemesis system, I feel like, is their attempt at changing the
diversifying
open world, right, making it feel like you're actually aiming for something and trying to accomplish something within the open world, not just like a giant sandbox.
Yeah, I guess it felt more driven towards objectives versus just like go over here and do this, go over here and do this. I will say that the trend of the day is outpost driven gameplay, like Far Cry and Shadows of Mordor. We'll talk about Homefront 2. Like everything is like, oh, there's these outposts and you gotta clear them out. Stronghold and you gotta clear them out. Instead of having like very set piece driven encounters, it seems like a lot of like, let's just dot the map and clear it out. Like it's all about clearing out. Infamous Second Son was that way. Like clear out this area, clear out this area.
That's lazy.
I know that's a tradition of open world games, but if they rely on that too heavily, where it's just about the openness of the world and the freedom, like it's not story driven. Then it's not. This Shadows of Mordor seemed more story driven though, so I do have hope that it will turn out. I mean, I'm definitely buying it. I'm excited it's coming out this year. I think it's going to be cool. It doesn't look the best. It's cross-gen, but it looks good enough. And like I said, they're using some new ideas, which is fresh and fun, and I give them props for that. Will it turn out to be an amazing game, or will it turn out to be too focused on this, inner orc family fighting? That's left to be determined, but I'm pumped to see where it goes. I enjoyed my time with the game. It's a little bit repetitive, but I enjoyed it. Now, I also saw Homefront 2, which is called Homefront: The Revolution. This is picked up by Crytek, the IP where the North Koreans take over the United States, and they've made it open world. Surprise. Surprise. And you attack outposts. Surprise, surprise. But I like the idea. Like, they really, in this demo, I didn't get to play it, but in this demo, they really focus on, like, their big thing is the theme of the game. Like, that America is being taken over, that's unique. And I think Homefront does have that going for it. What they showed was pretty traditional, although there were some cool parts. At one time, you had to create a distraction, so you taped a bomb to an RC car and drove it in and alerted, the guys in one direction, fired at them from another. You had some teammates climbing in from the rooftops. That was pretty cool. And you were like using your phone to find special stashes and upgrade your guns. The screen where you upgrade the gun looked exactly like Crysis. So I wonder how much they're borrowing from the Crysis franchise. I'm kind of over Crysis, so I'm glad that Crytek is doing something new. Again, if it's just going to be like outpost clearing open world, like I hope they find a way to really focus in on that storyline, on the desperation of an overtaken America and of this oppressive North Korean force. Like, that is what I think they need to focus on. The game is coming out in 2015, no clear date, but it's next gen only, which is exciting. I'm skeptical, but I'm hopeful that they can really use that premise to elevate their game to a higher level. Now, we also saw Dead Island 2, which I'm shocked exists, because I thought Dying Light was basically Dead Island 2. Dying Light is made by Techland, published by Warner Brothers. Dead Island 2 is made by Jaeger, published by Deep Silver, and this very much looks like Dead Island. Basically, everything you remember from Dead Island looks to be in Dead Island 2. If you want a game where you go around smacking zombies in your face with machetes and sledgehammers and electric weapons, like that's the game. And they seem pretty relaxed about it. Like, hey, this is a fun and crazy zombie game. It didn't sound like they were trying to make it an epic, AAA story-driven fest. Like, they kind of understand where they're at. It's not going to be a 9 out of 10 game, but it's going to be a fun time killer, zombie killer game. They showed off a gameplay demo from last year, which I thought was a little bit of an odd choice, but just to show off the combat, it looks pretty. Like, if it has good graphics, I think that's definitely going for it. I'm not sure that I will like it, just because Dead Island became really repetitive and boring to me and just cheesy as all heck.
The big nacho.
What was that?
Cheesy.
Oh, yeah. Your comments are just... You need a symbol just to, like, do all of your epic jokes. But Dead Island 2, like, what was your impression of that?
Exactly what you said. A time waster. I mean, no, they just focus on, like, just have fun. Like, here's go turn on the DJ turntable and then weird music plays while you go smash zombies in the head, or see how high you can smash a zombie into the air with a sledgehammer. Just not very, like...
It's not serious.
They weren't like, oh, look how good our game is. It's more like, oh, look how fun our game is, and it's funny and silly.
Yeah, and again, I think, like, they know what they're going for, and so maybe that serves them better, because they get it. They're not trying to make a really intense, serious game. But I still think the weird part is that Dying Light, Dead Island 2 looks so much alike. I'm going to be playing Dying Light later in the week, so I'll report back on that. But they look eerily... I don't know. I think they look eerily similar. The last thing I'll touch on for today is The Crew, which is the big open world racing game from Ubisoft. We played some races in these
simulators.
Yeah, simulation, like
roller coasters.
They were like throwing us all around. Supposedly each setup costs $55,000. You're in this like car with gas pedals, 3 monitors surrounding you. It was so intense.
I was doing an off-road chase mission, and there was like hills and stuff, and I was getting like thrown everywhere. It was so intense.
Bouncing around like...
It was so fun.
I don't know, like... It was throwing you around. I'm surprised you didn't come out with bruises.
I mean, I had like a little bit of a headache. No, actually I didn't. I was totally fine. I only threw up twice, okay?
Yeah. I mean, the racing game itself was racing, but that experience was
yeah, we kind of forgot, like...
What are we doing?
What game are we playing? Yeah. This is so much fun!
Yeah, like being in the simulator, like who cares about... but yeah. A lot of stuff on my plate coming up later in the week. I'm going to be playing Rainbow Six. I'm going to be playing more Smash Brothers, Hyrule Warriors, The Order 1886, Evolve. So much goodness in store for you guys. Cannot wait to share even more with you. Let's pick one highlight of the day. For me, I'm going to say Assassin's Creed Unity. I was really impressed with that. I can't believe it's coming out this year because it does feel like a second wave next-gen game, and I'm glad that, like, that is coming out now. Like, that's good.
I think this driving simulator was the best.
That was your highlight of the day?
Yeah, it was hecka fun.
It was a lot of fun. And E3 in general is turning out to be a lot of fun. It always is a lot of fun, and I cannot wait for what day 2 and 3 have in store. Let me know in the comments below what game you are most excited for that I talked about today. Maybe it's Far Cry 4, maybe it's Smash Brothers.
Maybe it's Mario Maker.
Maybe it's Mario Maker. I didn't talk about that yet.
I know. That's what they want, though.
No, you gotta pick a game that I talk about.
Oh.
Homefront 2, Dead Island 2, Sunset Overdrive, Shadows of Mordor. Shadows of Mordor, I'm interested in. I really want to know what that full game is like. But anyways, I want to know what you guys thought of our day 1 at E3. Hit that like button if you enjoyed and want more E3 coverage. Plan on bringing you show floor tours, more details. Going to bring in Game Riot Army for some extended thoughts. We'll review the press conferences and just keep this week going full speed, 0 to 100. Real quick. Until that time, guys and girls, thank you so much for watching. Fantastic day. Jake, thanks for being here. I'll feed you your cookies in 5 seconds. But before we do that, thanks again. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.
Where are my cookies?